All right, so we'll get started here. If you guys aren't familiar with me, my name's Chris Orsini. I am one of the owners of Leverage Strong, as well as a I Love Coaching company, real estate and leadership coach, Keller Williams University approved trainer, and a labs advisor. And today we're going to be talking about the new ads experience. Now, when I start these classes, I know some of you were in the team meeting yesterday with Legacy Partners, and you'll know the answer to this question. But I always love to start these conversations out with asking, what does the MREA say about prospecting and marketing? We're supposed to be, according to the MREA, we are supposed to be what based and what enhanced.
Prospecting, then marketing.
Incorrect. That is the correct answer, but not the correct answer to my question. So the Millionaire Real Estate Agent says that we should be marketing based and prospecting enhanced. And then the follow-up question to that is, anyone know when the Millionaire Real Estate Agent was written? Any idea?
Did you say 2007?
85.
85. No.
I think it was
that's when.
2003.
Yeah, so it was written in 2003, published in 2004. And so something happened 3 or 4 years later, right?
Crash.
Yes, the crash, the Great Recession, right? The bubble burst. That's what all millennials are waiting for right now, is for the bubble to burst again. We all know that's not going to happen. But so the bubble burst. We had a very shifted market, very extremely shifted market. And that's when we realized that, hey, if my business is based on a lead aggregator, then who wears the pants in the relationship? The lead aggregator, right? If my business, right, our database is our business. We call it a data bank, right? Because that's where our business comes from. If our database is entirely dependent on someone else's business, then I'm just their independent contractor. I am not in ownership of my business. And so they shifted it in Shift. They flipped it to then being prospecting based and marketing enhanced. And there's a couple things around that, right? Who's the easiest people to convert? People who already know, like, and trust you, right? And people on the internet, they don't even think you're a person, right? You get an internet lead, you're nothing more than a website. So what I always challenge people with is, until you feel like you're tapping into your database at the highest level, until you've got your entire database on some sort of touch system, whatever your system may be, 36 touch. I know some people do 48 touches, whatever your system is, and you're consistently calling people at a high level, you have not earned the right to start marketing yet. Because here's one thing that I find. Now, I worked with Cody Gibson and the United Home Group for 18 months. They over 300 agents in 29 states and 5 countries. And if you're not being prospecting based and you're not consistently calling your own people, you cannot expect to be able to convert people at a high level who you are calling cold just off of an internet lead. Now, say you do, you've got your database dialed in, you are consistently following up with your people, and you're finding yourself a couple days out of the month saying, you know what, I wish I had some more people to call. I am totally tapped in, or I've totally tapped out all of my database. Now it's time to start marketing. Now, what I find when people are first getting into internet leads is, and I hear this all the time to this day, I've been hearing this for 5 years, Chris, internet leads suck. And then I'll ask, well, so what did you do with the internet lead? They're like, oh, well, I called them. They came in, I called them, and they didn't answer. Okay, what did you do next? Well, that was it. They didn't answer. And I go, well, you know what? The internet lead doesn't suck. Your follow-up just sucks. Because the truth is we are, and I want you guys to keep this term in your head, This is like, I use this like crazy. If I had enough fingers, I'd tattoo it across my knuckles. You're trying to bring people into emotional proximity. Because what's the bold law? Logic makes you,
Think.
and emotions make you
Act.
There you go. So we want to get people into emotional proximity so we can motivate them into action. Because logic simply telling, hey, I have this home that's a 4.4 and 3,000 square feet and it costs this much. That's not an emotional experience. That's a logical experience. And that does not, I mean, unless it's a commercial or an investment property, you're likely not going to convert someone with just pure statistics. So that being said, now that I've prefaced and given you guys all reasons not to use this platform, I'm going to get into talking about our new ads experience. Now, I'm going to share my screen real quick. And one thing that I want to point out is that we have to now, with the new ads experience, because, you know, it's Facebook and they change things. And of course, they're courteous enough to tell everyone the changes they're making. Nope. We have to go in and change some things in Facebook. And I've had a couple people already reach out to me, say, Chris, I ran an ad, I didn't get any leads. And this is the one toggle switch that will change that. And of course, they introduce this toggle switch. It's by default turned off, and they don't give us a heads up about it. So that's what I'm here for. So you guys want to take some notes on this, or either, you know, do it along with me. You want to go to business.facebook.com. That's where you want to start. And as soon as you're here, this is when the spaghetti starts happening. This is where I have different experiences with everyone I work with. So you want to find the gear icon, whether your screen looks like this or it looks like something else. You want to find a gear icon and something that says business settings. So you click on that, and it may take you here. It may not take you here. It may take you somewhere else, which then you also have to click business settings again. But this is ultimately where you want to land. Now, Facebook has made this very ambiguous, where we have a business account, a personal account, and a business page. Those are three separate entities that all interact in different ways. So the business account is tied to a personal account. The
Chris,
business
sorry
account.
to interrupt you. Martha
Yes.
is waiting for you to put her in on the group.
I don't have anyone in the waiting room.
Really?
Yeah, I did remember seeing her and allowing her in. Tell her to close it and try it again. It might be something on her end. I know Zoom's been acting a little funny for me today, so it might be a Zoom problem. So,
Okay, thank you.
all right. So the business account is owned by the personal account, but the business account owns the business page. And then the business account decides who gets to be an admin of the business page. So I've run into some people who, you know, they were a team, they had a VA or someone set up their business account, and they ended up being owners of the business account, not the rainmaker of that team. And so then they've had to go back to all their VAs in the past and be like, hey, who owns this? I need you to hand over ownership to me. So there can be some convolution. So you want to make sure that when you are doing this, if you're starting from scratch, make sure you get someone you trust to also be an admin of that business account and that business page, so that if something happens where things are messed up, they can go in and fix it for you, rather than you being like, I was the only admin and now I lost being an admin and I can't access it anymore. So it happened to me. My own business page, Leverage Strong, I created it. I created the business account. I did all that, then added my business partners, and then they made a change, and all of a sudden I lost access to my own page. Yeah, Hala, I don't have her in the waiting room. There's nobody in the waiting room, so there's nothing I can do, unfortunately. Might be a connectivity issue on her end. So
Quick thing, if I could have her
Mhm.
do a email search for Orsini, and it'll show the training. Make sure she clicks on Thursday. Sorry, Chris.
Good one, David. Thank you. So when we're looking at this page, we can see those delineations here. So under this drop down, I am in my business account. So you'll see here, business account, that's Leverage Strong. Right here, this is me. This is my personal account. And then under my personal account is all the assets I have, meaning pages. So that's my Leverage Strong page. What you want to do is click on that page. And if you don't have that page, you can just click Add Asset and it will add it to you. You want to click on that drop down, and below Insights, there should be a toggle that says Leads, and it will be turned off by default. I don't have that toggle. I don't know why. Nobody's been able to tell me why, but I have been told if I don't have the toggle, I don't need to worry about it. So from KWRI, if you can't find that toggle, don't worry about it, but you do want to make sure that is on. Otherwise, you will not be receiving your leads. It kind of bothers me that they default that to being off, but it's Facebook. It's the world we live in. So let's assume that we have that completed. I'm going to jump over to Command now and walk through the new ads experience and give you guys just some red flags on some things, and because things are slightly different. I'm going to go into campaigns, which, by the way, campaigns is where we can run our paid ads. We can send postcards. We can do social posts for free. And it's also where we do not use email. That is the email campaigns is not the best experience. You want to use smart plans for sending out emails. That's a whole different conversation, though. So jumping into paid ads. Now, if you guys need a refresher on anything that I've taught today, there's Marta. These two videos here are going to walk through the things that I'm teaching. So you can always get a refresher there. And then this is a great one too around the follow-up of converting leads. So we can get into the new ads experience by clicking Quick Start or any of these buttons here, or just clicking Create Campaign and choosing Paid Ad. Also, make sure you're in the right account when you do that. Let's create and Paid Ad. Now, by the way, if you have run ads in the past, those ads, if you had scrolled down where I was, you would see all the ads that you've done previously. They haven't entirely disappeared. So two things right off the bat that I want to note is you'll see we've got this blue chip and then this yellow chip on all of these. You either have one or the other. Now, if you zoom in on this and this really tiny little chip, it says includes Facebook lead form. What that means is when the consumer clicks on your ad, it's immediately going to ask for their contact information. And what's great with Facebook and Instagram is that it auto fills that information for them based on what they have in Facebook. So now we're not forcing people to put keys to the keyboard and start thinking about what they're doing. Remember, logic makes you think, emotions make you act. So we don't want to break people out of the emotional experience that we're creating in this ad. Now we have these that are yellow that say uses your landing page lead form. Now, forget the term landing page. The point here is that you are responsible for collecting the lead here. You're responsible for lead capture on any of these that are yellow. Now, if you're running an ad and sending people to your site, you want to make sure that you have forced registration turned on. And I'll show you how to do that real quick. What we'll want to do is go into Consumer. And from Consumer, go to Site and App Settings. From here, we can change the property limits around registration. So what I usually suggest is 2 properties, meaning once someone clicks on your ad, goes to your site, they can click and look at 2 properties. Once they click on the 3rd property, it's going to say, in order to view more, you must register and have a registration form. I feel like 10 properties is too much. I think someone's probably going to stop prior to that 10. Unrestricted obviously means you're not going to get any leads because they're not going to be forced to registered. And no property viewing, I never recommend that one because I believe in a value-driven business. and forcing someone for their information prior to giving them value is contradictory to that. So lead with value and then ask for their information. So if you haven't already, you'll want to connect your Facebook page on where it says Facebook pages. You can connect multiples. So if you've got, maybe you're an expansion and you're doing it in different states or what have you, you've got different pages for whatever reason, you can do multiples. So I'm going to jump into one of these and walk through some of the nuances. Actually, no, before I get there, I do want to point out we now have Google ads in here. They've removed Twitter ads because why the heck advertise on Twitter? And we now have Google, and we've got two different Google ads. One is just the standard G. What that is that's going to be the search ad, what we're normally used to referring to as PPC or pay-per-click advertising. This is that sort of advertising. Well, I'll just show you. If I search for a realtor, you'll see we have a sponsored result, and that's exactly what you'll get. It's not going to be a big long thing like this. It'll just be, this sponsored result. And what happens is once someone clicks on it, that's going to then deduct from your budget. So it's pay per click, literally. And then there's also let's just close that. I don't need that. There is also, where was I? I was in the wrong window. There's also AdWords, which is this A. Now, have you ever searched for something or talked to someone about something or looked up something on Amazon, and then you're on another website and all of a sudden you see a banner ad with that very thing that you were just talking to somebody about? Yeah, it happens to all of us and it's terrifying, right? So that's what AdWords is. It's watching people's internet activity and saying, and throwing banners up for that specific person. All in all, I believe if your best results are going to come from the Facebook, Instagram, and Google. Google, you're going to get slightly better results than Facebook just because they're a little further along in the pipeline. So Facebook, it's, hey, I'm doom scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, and now some agent has had the gall to interrupt my meaningless scrolling with their listing ad, right? Based on the fact that Facebook thinks I'd be interested. Google is, hey, I'm going to go on Google and search homes for sale because I'm actively interested in that in this current moment. And then you're going to show up in the results. So there's already a prior motivation, a prior active motivation, right? So that being said, generally speaking, internet leads are going to convert at a 1 to 5%. So you can safely expect to contact 1% of your Facebook leads. You can safely expect maybe 2% of your Google, right? These are very small margins, but it's just the reality of it. Now, where the wins come in this is going to be your follow-up. Your ad is not going to make a drastic difference as to how easy they will be to convert. It's going to be your follow-up. I've got some follow-up systems that I teach in another class that we can visit after, in following classes, that I have seen get a 15% contact ratio, contact conversion. And so it's all of it's really in the follow-up, if I can't really stress that enough. So let's jump into this now. I'm going to choose one of these Facebook ones. We're going to look at Facebook and look at Google. If you're on a team, you also get another option, which is dynamic ads. And that's a really cool one because it's pretty set it and forget it. It's $250 a month minimum, and it just runs and it creates the ad for you. And I've actually seen some really great results on that one in the beta tests. So we've got a couple options here. We've got a listing with just one image or video. We've got a listing with multiple images. We've got a multi-listing carousel where you can advertise multiple listings, and then a non-listing, which can be just about anything else. So non-listing, that could be, I mean, we all also have recruiting, but that doesn't give us the lead form. So we could do recruiting and non-listing, or, you know, whatever. I'm going to go with multi-image carousel. That's the one I prefer to go with. Also, the non-listing, you could do things like some other ideas that I've gotten from people is homes for like under a certain price point. And you just go on your website, set that filter, and then copy the URL and place that in, you know, the where is it? They've moved things around, the landing page section. Or homes that have with price reductions in the past week. And then you put that filter, copy the URL, put that in there. So just some ideas if you don't want to do just a listing. But I'm going to do a listing for this one, and we'll click here and click and go to add listing. Does anyone have a listing right now that I can use, for example?
Chris, if we don't have listing, we cannot use anything from Office.
So that's going to be with written consent, right? So
Okay.
I recommend that
you-
all the time.
You can use 333 Fairlea, Fairlea Road.
And for the pages, we are allowed only to add Facebook page, not our personal.
So
Correct.
it's Fairlea.
LEA, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, personal accounts we can't run ads on, just for anything. So that's it. All right, thank you, Megan. So we'll add that. Now, what's cool is it brings in like the photos and stuff for us, so there's not it reduces the amount of work that we need to do. So now we can get into targeting. We got two options here. We can choose the listing location as the center of the target, or we can use a custom location. Now, if I'm using the listings location, we then have the radius option. I will always keep that at the narrowest radius, unless you're in a more rural area that you need to spread that out. But in, you know, your standard urban or suburban area, I'm going to keep it at 15 miles. Now, custom location is great for transplants. So I live in Florida. We have 1,000 people a day move to Florida. So it's a big opportunity there. So people do a lot of this and will advertise in, you know, New York and Canada, you know, all the places that freeze and we don't, you know. In that case, I will open this up to 50 miles, which is the widest radius. What's really cool is something we couldn't do before is we can do up to 10 locations now. It's not just one location. So a pro tip that I like to teach on is we can see referral patterns. So I like to go into the referrals applet and then go into the map. Now, generally what we can use this for is, hey, I've got, you know, I want to send a referral to Tampa. I don't know anyone in Tampa, so I'm going to zoom in on this and find some agents in Tampa and go with them, right? Now, if we click this drop down, we've got some more options. At the very bottom, we have referral patterns. So I'll click on that. And now I can see all of the referrals going out of my location. But that's not as helpful. I want to see all the referrals coming to me. So I'll flip that to received. And now I can see where everyone is coming from. Say Chicago, New York, Arizona. I guess they were tired of the dry heat and wanted the humidity. North Carolina, Atlanta. So what I would do now is go back to my ad and put in all of those locations. So I'll say Phoenix, Arizona, New York, what was it? Chicago, and so on and so forth. So, and you guys can do that just because, you know, no matter where you are, you can see those referral patterns and advertise in those locations. So, and then you can even put the city that the listing is in and just have it spread everywhere like that. Any questions on the targeting there? No, pretty straightforward. All right, so next is our text. So we've got our text and our images. So has anyone here read the book Building a Story Brand? Building a Story Brand. Nope. All right. So I think that book is required reading for anyone in sales. I think it's Donald Miller is the author. The book is blue, if I remember right. And also if you listen to books on Headway, which is what I do, they summarize them and you can read a book in like 15 to 20 minutes and in audiobook form. It's on there as well. So one of the big takeaways for me with building a story brand was there's 3 key points, 3 key pieces to every story. In a good story, it's you have a hero. That hero faces an obstacle, and then along comes a guide to help that hero overcome their obstacle and reach their goal. I hate to break it to you guys, but you are never the hero. You always want to make the client the hero. And I get it. Everyone wants to be Luke Skywalker. Nobody wants to be Yoda and short and shrivelly, right? We all want to be Luke Skywalker. But the reason we're attracted to those stories is because we associate ourselves with the hero. And so we want to attract buyers and sellers by associating them with the hero. Does that make sense? So you're simply the guide helping these people achieve their goals. If you can, get that mindset cemented in your subconscious, then the way you interact with people is going to fundamentally change and people are just going to be more attracted to you. So in that, all that being said, I do not like to put statistics or data about my property in a listing or in an advertisement. I get it. The MLS is the MLS and the MLS has to be data, right? Pretty strict. This is what it is, A and B. But I don't know. Have you guys ever flipped through the MLS and had an emotional experience? Have you ever read through a bio or, all that data and been like, oh man, I would love raising my kids in this home. No, it's like, oh, it's not big enough. It's too small. It's too big. I wish it had a backyard, right? What we want to do is create an emotional experience here. So saying, hey, new listing in orange for 550,000 doesn't do anything for me emotionally. So I usually cut all of this out and I will try to paint a picture in about 2 sentences of what it's going to look like to live here, right? And let's just say, we just had, it's summer, we're wrapping up summer, and we could say, imagine backyard summer barbecues here. And then you can throw in some emojis. We've got that emoji icon there. We can add some. Let me see. We could put like, the meat thing. And we could say, don't miss out on this gem. We just put like a diamond in orange. So I guess what is the city? Is that it said orange in the ad, but is that the city, Megan? Orange? Okay. It just sounds weird to me because we have an Orange County here in Florida. I think we have Orange City as well. So
Yeah, it's orange.
just orange. Okay.
Yep.
And now here's one last thing I will always add to an ad. So a couple things. If you do a double return between lines, it will add a little bit more space, taking up more screen real estate, and the white is more attractive. It looks like less words to read when they're spaced out like that. So I always say double return. And then this was something another tech trainer taught me about a year or so ago that I found fascinating. So when someone looks at an ad, when someone gets an ad, where do you think their eyes go first?
The picture.
Yep, that's an obvious one, right? So they immediately look at the picture. So the picture is kind of important. Now, where do you think their eyes go next?
Price.
Well, there's no price on this one. I'm talking about like logistically, where in this do they go? Up, down, left, right.
Up.
Click next
Yep.
page. I don't know, or scroll
So
down.
their eyes are going to go up here to then read the copy. From there, they generally go down to the headline, and then they look over at whatever the button is. So we can start kind of directing our, the viewers as to where to go. So we already know they're going to go at the home and then look up at the text. So what I'm going to do is then double return and say, click, learn. It would be great if I could type learn more. And I'll even throw this emoji in there to point down to say that's where you're going, right? So we're creating this flow. Headline. So they went here, they went up, they went down to the headline, and they put, by default, it puts the address in there. I never put the address in an ad. Anyone wonder why? Or have an idea why? You're muted, Megan. I see you talking, and I'm sure it's brilliant.
How about now?
Yep.
So people have to click to find out where it is.
Yep. As a consumer who hates being advertised to, I would just copy and paste that address and throw it in Zillow, right? Rather than giving you my information in order to see something. So I will, for this one, I'll just say, click. I'll tell them again, learn more for details and more photos. And then again, another emoji. Now the emoji, oh yeah, the emoji icon's right there. So
Chris, I have one question. If property under contract, like my listing, I cannot advertise it because it said no, not showing.
yeah, it's not going to pull in things that are not active.
Okay.
So now we're telling them to click learn more. And now say you guys are just like in a point where you're like, hey, I have writer's block. I can't think of anything original. And I need to get this out quick, whatever. We do have some AI features in here. So we can click on this little magic wand, and I'm going to copy all this so I don't lose it. But we can say suggest with AI, and that's going to write up something for us based on the information from the MLS. But again, this is kind of exactly what I teach against, is that this is information. This is not a story. They're saying, single family, detached home. There are some styles we can switch to: artistic, practical, vibrant, caring, emotional. Let me switch it to emotional and see what it does. Yeah, so this is beautiful. So it added some adjectives. I'm not totally disenfranchised with that, but I don't think that's the best option. But it's also an option if you're in in the position where you really want something quick or can't think of something to put in there. Same thing on the headline. You can also get, and there were tags. So there's tags in here as well, or merge fields rather. So you can put these in and they are going to be like fill in the words that are filled in that field for on the MLS. Next is our photos. Now, I don't recommend, I usually recommend around 3. I wouldn't ever do more than 5, so I'm glad that they keep it at 5. Now, and we can, something to keep in mind when you are listing things on the MLS, currently, it only pulls in the first 20 photos. So if you've got like this beautiful Twilight photo that you have to use in your ad, make sure it's 20 or less, number 20 or less. It can't, you know, you got 25 photos, you're only going to pull in 20, unfortunately. Now these thumbnails are a little smaller than I'd like, but there's something I do like about the size of them. Now, when we're running ads, you have to keep in mind that we have something that's coming past us quickly and it needs to grab our attention. So
Chris,
say,
sorry
yes,
if I
David.
can- So I'm a little confused. I heard you say something like, it's good that there's only 3 to 5 ads or 5 max, but now you're talking about it pulling automatically 20. Can you?
So 20 to choose from. So you can choose from the first 20 in the MLS. Thank you for clarifying that. Those. So, you know, something's scrolling past us quickly. Now, if you have it, if it's this home with this brand new, super modern, all white kitchen, right? It's going to look beautiful on the MLS, but in a tiny little box, as I'm scrolling quickly, that's just white space. I'm going to scroll right past that. So my mother is a colored pencil artist and an art teacher. So I grew up around color and art and all this, you know, learning about color theory. I can't draw worth the life of me, but I understand it. And something that she used to teach on a lot was color. And we've all been taught on the color wheel, right? The blue and green and yellow and orange and red and purple and the complementary colors. Right? Complementary colors are the opposite colors, blue and orange or yellow and purple. Now, those are the things that make each other pop, right? That's the word complementary. They complement each other. So we want to look for colors and things that are going to pop. So something that always stands out is a nice blue sky against a, you know, a really green grass. Not totally complementary colors, but we have these colors that are popping and they're not monochromatic. Or the Twilight photos, those are always killer photos because you have like the oranges and purples that are commingling. So I always recommend just kind of look through this quickly and see which ones stand out to you the most. And all that first one's actually pretty good. So I'll jump down and like, oh, there's this one that's got like the black in the middle, the contrast, whatever the tan and stuff is. I'm going to click on that and see how that looks. Which was actually another photo. I think this is a great one too. You've got the blues and greens and then contrasting with the whites and grays. Like you want things like that. They're going to have some contrast here and there and things that pop that grab people's attention. That's what we're trying to do. Grab people's attention, create an emotional experience. I will suggest to them, though, that they make these thumbnails a little larger. It's kind of tough to see those, aren't they? So there. So that's the photos and the text. Oh, whoops, I clicked on something. By the way, it only requires 2 photos, so you don't have to do all 5. And we can also pull in photos from our designs if we want. And I forget which one I was on. Doesn't matter. I'll click one. There we go. Awesome. Now, next is where do they go after they click the ad? Where do you want to send them? So remember, with this, it's capturing their information prior to letting them go to whatever link you're sending them to. So you don't have to worry about lead capture here, but you want to send them somewhere. And most likely, you're going to send them to this listing. Now, what a lot of people like to do is use landing pages. And I hate landing pages. Like profanity pops in my head when someone asks about landing pages because I think they're terrible. As a consumer, I hate them because I feel cornered and I can't go anywhere. And as someone who wants to lead with value, that's not leading with value to say, hey, here's only that one thing that I wanted to show you. You can't see anything that you want to see. You can only see what I want you to see. So what I like to do is send people, here, let me ask you this. If I were a consumer, right, I look at this, I click on this ad, I see it's a 4-bedroom. Oh, shoot, I needed a 5-bedroom. Now I'm interested in looking at homes, but that's can't be the home that I look at. Where do you think I'm going?
Normally back to Zillow or somewhere, right?
Exactly. I'm leaving your ecosystem and I'm going to go to Zillow. I'm going to find that 5-bedroom. I'm going to click, get more information. And now I'm some other agent's lead, not yours. So what I teach is go to your agent site. We all get one. They're all free. And I'm going to go find that listing, 333F. Help me out, Megan.
FAIRLEA.
Street Road.
But it's yeah, it's in your drop down.
Yep. There we go. Connecticut. All right. So what I'm going to do is now copy this URL and I'm going to put that into the landing page. So now they can go see all the information on that property. And then if it's not what they wanted, they can search. Or they can scroll down and see if they can even afford it. Or they can scroll to the bottom and see more listings in that area. Or they can just ask you a question. You've got them locked into your ecosystem now. That makes sense? Does everyone equally detest landing pages along with me? Okay. Let's protest the landing pages. Let's picket it. Next, we can tag. And this is important. What I like to do is I like to tag with Facebook Lead, which is loading. There we go. Facebook Lead. And then I'll create another tag specific to this listing or this ad. So I'll do Facebook Lead 333 FAIRLEA maybe. And then I'll create that as a new tag. And now that's going to also tag them so I can have some specific delineators. And then we want a smart plan. This is very important, in my opinion, for speed to lead. Right? If you look up statistics, there's all sorts of infographics and statistics about speed to lead. And it's anywhere from like 500 to 1,000%. I don't know, whatever. There's numbers out there. The point is you are drastically reducing your chances of contacting this person by waiting more than 5 minutes to contact them. So I recommend having an immediate smart plan on this, and super simple. You want one email and one text message. And the email is, the content of both is just, hey, this is Chris Orsini with Leverage Strong. Thank you so much for your interest in my listing. Someone is going to be reaching out to you shortly. In the meantime, here's a quick video I shot for you. And it's a little YouTube video that you're going to shoot on your phone. And it's going to be 15 seconds. And this is all it is. I'm going to give you the script right now. The conversation. We don't use scripts anymore. So you're just on your phone, do it normal portrait mode, just not produced. It's, hey there, this is Chris Orsini. Thank you so much for clicking on my ad. I just wanted to introduce myself and give you the face behind the website. I know you're just looking right now, but I can't wait to hear what you're looking for and see how I can help you in your buying process. something along those lines. Key points is this is the face behind the website. You're humanizing yourself, bringing them into emotional proximity. And you're also pulling their first objection right out from under them by saying, I know you're just looking right now. So word that however you want, but those are the key points of that script. You can include that link both in the email and the text message, and you want to load that onto YouTube as unlisted. Unlisted means that you cannot find it by searching it. You can only find it by going directly to the link of that. Now, let's make 1 + 1 = more than 2 here. All of you guys have YouTube channels where you're creating content and bringing value to people, right? All of you intend to do that, right? Yes, that's what we all should be doing. Now, 1 + 1 = more than 2 here when you have content that brings value, because now they're going to look at that video. And what's YouTube going to do? It wants to keep you on the platform. So they're going to suggest more videos of yours. And so then they go into and continue watching your videos and they say, oh my gosh, this person knows what they're talking about. They're bringing value. I'm getting familiar with their voice, their face, their mannerisms. I am getting into emotional proximity with this agent. And now you're going to convert them at such a higher level because they're going to already start to know, like, and trust you before you're doing anything. You are passively converting people, passively bringing people into emotional proximity. So can you tell I'm a little passionate about that one? So that's going to be your first smart plan. And then the follow-up after that is in my other classes. So lastly, we have our compliance, which is just doing the logo. I say, yes, put the default logo in there and include the ownership statement, which is each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. I don't know if you have to or not. I just rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it and then have to pay fines. I'm already paying enough for this ad, right? So lastly, we're going to go to proceed step. And I realize we only have 10 minutes left, so I'm going to blast through this real quick. We can choose the start date. Here's something cool. Before, we couldn't start the date, the ad today. It had to start tomorrow. Now we can start. There is the potential of it launching today. We have the ability to schedule it for today, which is Thursday. It could still take up to 24 hours to launch, but we now have an extra potential 24 hours on this. Next is budget. A lot of people ask me what the best budget is. Based on studies that I've seen, $5 a day seems to be the best return for Facebook ads. It's just enough to get it going, to get traction, but not enough to have the law of diminishing returns kick in. And then you just enter a credit card number, purchase now, boom, it launches. Now I've gotten to this far. I want to say something. We don't have drafts in this version of Facebook ads. So if you are working on an ad, if you don't launch it, you're just going to lose everything you worked on. So make sure to actually launch the things that you're working on. So I'm going to take a couple minutes real quick and go look at the Google ads just to show you how simple they are. With Google ads, all you need to do is put in your target area. So again, you can put up to 5 zip codes or cities. So I'll just do Coral Springs. That's where I live. You're going to give it the website that you want them to go to. Probably just your agent site and with the force lead capture turned on. And then you can, why is it not letting me continue on? We have that. We choose our website. And then you can add some keywords. Now, keywords are going to be like things that you want people to search for, or things that you want to appear under people's searches. Now, there's some defaults. It defaults to, like, Google knows that it's real estate stuff, but you can get a little more granular. Maybe you want to add, maybe it's a waterfront property and you want, waterfront. You'd want to add luxury, and here it'll show you the defaults if you click on this. So those are the defaults that come in. So, which I'm sure you read every single one of those in that short period, but you can see those if you want to see them. So yeah, you can
Sorry.
add some.
Defaults are the ones that are already populated there, so you don't have to add them.
Correct. All these you don't have to. Yeah. And energy efficient homes for sale. That's pretty specific. But yeah, so there's a lot there, but I'm not seeing luxury or waterfront. So those are some things that you can throw in there. Oh, there is waterfront. And then you can also have negative keywords, which is things that where you don't want to appear. So for instance, I would do homes for rent if you don't want to get renters, or rental homes, things like that. You don't have to go too nuts on this because, again, they've already put in a bunch of good default ones, but you can add your own as well. And then it's just going to the last step and then setting your budget. It's a minimum of $250 a month, and this will just charge, either as late as 7 days prior to, or as early as 7 days prior to your ad starting. These are Google's a little different to where it needs the month to really live out its full life cycle. You're going to run this, and at first you're going to feel like it's not doing anything. You're going to feel like it's a waste of money. As the month continues, you're going to see it start to level out and see those leads come in. But it just, by the nature of Google PPC, it just needs a little bit of time to come to life. All right, so I've got 5 minutes left. I wish I had more time. We took a lot of time on this one. Are there any questions, any things that I can clarify? Anything that I was ambiguous on?
As far as the dollar amount per quote unquote lead, does that just depend on a number of crazy mathematical algorithms and all that?
Yeah, so generally, on average, I think across Keller Williams, we see just below $2 a lead on average on Facebook leads. Google, we haven't implemented this long enough to give an average. So I was, and again, there's a lot of variables there. When I was working with United Home Group, I was getting Facebook or Google PPC was anywhere from like $4 a lead to like $13 to $15 a lead. Of course, that was out in like California, where every property is, the average sale price is like $1.5 million. Those were like $13, $14 a lead. Like Florida is pretty easy to get leads for cheap down here. Also, just throwing this out there, it's really cheap to advertise internationally, and not a lot of people are advertising internationally. So, for instance, Keller Williams is in the Dominican Republic. We're in South Africa. We're in 55 regions, and they also do referral fees. And many times internationally, they'll do a 50% referral fee just for bringing the lead. So it might be worth it to reach out to, if you speak Spanish, reach out to a market center in Mexico and Dominican Republic or elsewhere in the world and say, hey, would you be willing to be a referral partner? I was getting leads for 32 cents a lead in Dominican Republic. So if you have some free time and want to have a little fun with it, that might, be a nice little stream of income on the side.
Did anything come from any of those leads in Dominican Republic?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of really good investment opportunities in the DR. Canadians love it down there. New Yorkers, yeah. Anywhere that freezes, again, loves the tropical weather. Great question, though. Anything else? I'm trying to get in the chat. I wasn't. Anything else? No.
Just a helpful hint for anybody who was trying to grab that script. I typed pretty fast, missed it. It was at about 1:46 p.m. when Chris gave his mini script there, or
Yeah.
conversation. So
Yeah.
you want to be able to
So
scroll.
essentially, I'll just kind of review that again. It's a greeting, hi, introduction. I'm Chris Orsini. I wanted to give you a face behind the website. I know you're just looking right now, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you're looking for and how I can help you. I say it a little bit differently every time I do it because it's off the top of my head, but the key points there are, who am I? I know you're just looking, and face behind the website. And then go make more YouTube content,
And you recommended just putting a link to that video in an email?
Yep.
In conjunction with that smart plan of the one text and the one email, right?
Yep. That one text and one email, pretty much going to say the same. Hey there, thanks for your interest in my listing. Someone is going to reach out to you shortly. In the meantime, here's a video that I made for you.
The monthly budget, is this run for only that listing or something for any listing?
So this is Google PPC, and this is with Google Ads. Google Ads are not listing specific. Google Ads are someone searching for real estate, and you're the result of that search. So it's not specifically a single property. This is more come to my website. And it's weird. I don't know why it's not doing it here, but it will usually give you an ad preview. I don't know why it's not doing that now.
Yeah, I attended this class last week with KWRI, I believe. I
Oh,
forgot. And it was exactly similar what you did. But the only thing is when I add my credit card, it doesn't, I don't know, I forgot where I stuck in and they cannot move anywhere. Maybe because I don't have, not because I don't have the listing, but I believe, okay, when I went to my account and under account billing detail, which is I added, it looks like it disappeared now. It's not there.
Oh, so you're talking about the credit card here, the billing?
Yeah, because we don't have to wait until the end to add it. We can add it under our account. So it's ready.
Yeah, so the credit card's in a different location now. So if you've done ads in the past in the old experience, it's not going to carry that credit card over. We have to put the credit card in this new experience.
Yeah, I know the KW International, I believe, last class I attend, and I still have the recording because I want to go again, watch it. You go to under your icon, which is your like a people to the right, and my account and billing details, so everybody can add their billing detail right away, and you should see it.
Yeah, but you're not seeing it. Is that the problem you're having, or?
No, it looks like I click on billing detail and it is there. Yeah, it is there. I thought it's there for some reason.
Okay, maybe it did carry over then. So awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it is 2:01. I want to be respectful of all your time, and I've got another meeting to jump into. So if you guys have any further questions about this, any clarification, any review that you need, feel free to reach out to me at helpmechris@kw.com.
Thanks, Chris. And how do we get a copy of the recording? Is it automatic to us attendees?
That's a great question. I will figure that out and let you all know.
Do you like it?
Awesome. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.
Hi, Chris.